Welcome back to Memorial Arena in Brampton, Ontario, home of the 2022 Arena Lacrosse League quarterfinals, with the second half of our quarterfinal playoff doubleheader as the St. Catharines Shockwave take on the Paris Riverwolves. And two invites to the Final Four up for grabs when we started today. Just one left. Starting goalies for today's game. First for the visitors from St. Catharines, it'll be Chase Martin. Comes in with a 1-1 record, a 10.42 goals against, and a 7.97 save percentage. And for Paris, it'll be the veteran Nolan Clayton, 4-1 record, 12.22 goals against, and a 7.72 save percentage. Head coaches for the Shockwave in his fifth season, Ron Mouser Henry. His assistant is Clancy Almas. And for the Riverwolves, also in his fifth season, Jamie Dubrick is the head coach. His assistant is Chris Driscoll. And of course, our officials for today's game, Roger Nurse is the crew chief, Mac Abbott, and Brad Giroux will join him. And let me bring in my partner, of course, Mr. Blair Campbell.
Oh, I thought you forgot my name.
Player, coach, builder, legend in his own mind and the mind of others as we get set here. Saw a really good first quarterfinal game, two very evenly matched teams. Do you give St. Catharines the edge having played yesterday, or do you give Paris the edge because they're rested?
Well, actually, it's funny. I think I'd have to give the edge probably to Paris because after that game yesterday, it's a question of how much St. Catharines has in the tank left.
So that will be the question, as coming across and getting a good shot off was Justin Scott. Ball loose. Leland Palace in the lineup today. Wasn't in the lineup in yesterday's game. Out there and going hard looking for it was Keto Hill. He too wasn't in the lineup. And Danton Miller. Miller, good fake, rolls in, goes to the bounce shot. So Danton Miller has taken a little off, but picking up where he left off yesterday, and he opens the scoring 1-0 for the Shockwave.
I can guarantee you that when that defender comes off the bench, he's going to hear a word from Chris Driscoll because there's no way you turn sideways when a guy winds up for that shot. You've got to take your stick and put it in front of his, and that's what caused the goal. He just walked right around him.
This is playoff lacrosse. Here's Isaac Vanderzalm, and I tell you, Isaac Vanderzalm was instrumental in the St. Catharines win yesterday over Toronto as the Paris offense gets set up now. They'll start it on the half boards. Scott will swing it looking for Spear. Nothing doing there. Karam picked up. Atwood jumps in the rush. Chris Atwood tried to go top corner. Nothing doing there. And Atwood tweaked the knee in yesterday's game. Good to see him back on the carpet today. A very vital piece to the offensive puzzle for the Shockwave. Davis Prince now. He'll get it over, and they will swing it around to Eddie Renault. Renault looking for an opening, finds Drake Smith. Smith working one-on-one left side, gets the step. Good save made by Chase Martin, and now it's Brooker Muir. Muir will trot it up over the timeline, hesitate. Kofeld on him, getting some help from Hunter Agus as that backhand pass finds Keto Hill. Hill, wrong stick side. He'll fake the flip and keep it. Goes for the crease dive, and it's a beauty. So how about Keto Hill? That was some kind of fake as he faked the handoff and came around and tucked that baby in the top corner.
Yeah, there's no question. That's what he absolutely superb selling job on the little flip pass. And equally as good a selling job for the guy receiving it, but he stuck close. That goalie's got to hug that crossbar with his back in that situation. You can't let that guy come out from behind like that.
Well, that's kind of one of those new things to have to defend against, and of course have to put in your arsenal is that crease dive from behind. Leland Palace, as he will work it down deep, kick it over. Caleb Wiles. I thought Wiles struggled a bit early on in yesterday's game, but he picked it up when his team needed something in the third and fourth quarter. He was money in the bank. Atwood at the top. He'll swing it over. Hill trying to barrel his way in. Good save made by Clayton. Hill still in that crease. Rebound picked up and knocked away. King had it picked, and there is Danton Miller. So Danton Miller, his second of the game, has put together a couple of fine playoff outings here, starting off well, leading his team with his second of the game.
That was an unfortunate situation where the Riverwolves player having the ball and Clayton was busy trying to get the net back into his position. Unfortunately, he tried to make a move around the guy and lost the ball, and there was absolutely Clayton had no chance on that whatsoever.
I think Rob King unfortunately had his pocket picked, and now they will move it up. Oakley Thomas, also another Shockwave player that wasn't in the lineup yesterday, so lucky enough for them to pick up that W. Cody Ward, and Ward was outstanding with 4 goals yesterday as he helped pick up the slack. And now the Riverwolves are going to have to hustle, get over the timeline. Eddie Renault, he'll stretch, get it over. 3-0 to score here in favor of the Shockwave. We are just over 11 minutes in the first quarter, second quarter final. The Oshawa Outlaws have punched their ticket, so 3 of our 4 are set. That one from Curtis Woodland just wide of the mark. That will go almost all the way down the carpet, and it'll be the Shockwave now with possession.
Well, this is definitely not the start that Coach Chris Driscoll was talking about, where the first thing he said is we got to be solid on D, and we got to be hard on our loose balls. So it's not the start he wanted.
No, and you can see the Shockwave offense working well as they got a good shot off, but Nolan Clayton up to the task, and Marcus Elvin now will get it over the timeline. Davis Prince, good feed, and now they'll settle things down with Kyle Dawson out there. Looking for the give and go, nothing doing. Swing that to Scott. Scott, defender on him. Scott draws a crowd. Paulus working on him. Renault ducks into one. Renault with a step, rolling one-on-one. Renault tries to shovel. Shot clock goes. Good defensive hold by St. Catharines, and they'll bring it up now, try to get it over the timeline, and they do. Jake Bombury, half boards on the left side. And this Shockwave team got a lot of skilled players, as Bombury certainly one of them, Danton Miller another, Lucas Beaver, of course, one of the member of the Good Hands team, as Clayton now will get it to Agus. Agus will move it up. Andy Campbell will give way to Drake Smith. Smith now working on the right side. Has Brooker Muir on him. Zips it over. Good skip pass to Scott, looking for a screen. Working with Dawson. Dawson, a good screen. Scott, shot stopped by Chase Martin. And Martin now with the flip. We are under 9.5 to go, opening quarter. Brooker Muir, dump off, and a good pass, but not expecting it there. And that is going to cost Kofeld at the very least 2 minutes. So Taylor Kofeld is going to make the very, very slow walk to the penalty box, as he will spend 2 minutes in there. First power play of the game for either team, as the Shockwave come in working at just a 38% efficiency rate in the season, 43% for the Paris penalty kill, and Cody Ward working with Atwood. Gave everyone a touch. Zip pass to Miller. Miller couldn't handle that pass, and it's a turnover. Miller's going to try to slow up, and good job there to get it over the timeline. And Luke Van Scheppen trying to weave through everyone, and Van Scheppen very quietly worked all the way the length of the carpet and almost got a good shot off.
He beat everybody except the last guy.
Hill and Atwood now will set things up. Atwood takes that shot, and Chris Atwood was outstanding yesterday, doing a good job of playing within himself, staying out of the penalty box, only managed one penalty. And with 52 seconds left, Atwood's going to remain in the offensive end. Agus is going to try to kill some time. Instead, it's Oakley Thomas with the strip, and he's going to move it up into the offensive end. Brooker Muir will set things up. 35 seconds left in the man advantage. Waiting for that fifth, and it is Caleb Wiles as he'll slide in on that left side. That good underhand pass, and Atwood will sneak in. Not a lot of movement as Wiles, good overhand, but right on target. Clayton easy, and now it's Connor Watson. One man to beat. Watson gonna go to the flip, finds Scott. 1-2 off the post. Watson will track it down, and just 5 seconds left to kill. Woodland will swing it around to Scott. Drake Smith jumps into the rush. Team's now back at full strength. 15 on the shot clock. Cole Spear. Spear's going to step into one. Good save by Martin. And the outlet pass, and here come the Shockwave. DeWitt Martin. Atwood's going to let that one go. Almost followed that up, but it took a funny hop. Good job. There's Lucas Beaver with the hands. Tried to get that one on net. Going to have another chance. 5 on the shot clock. Flip back out. Quick shot, and a great save by Nolan Clayton. As a great attempt there by Gates Abrams, but that's going to take us to our first officials timeout. Alterna Savings and the All are excited to promote the second annual National Lacrosse League Alterna Cup competition this season. Canadian teams are competing in head-to-head matchups to capture the cup and be crowned the top Canadian team in the NLL. Check out NLL.com and Alterna.ca for the up-to-date standings and schedule. And Circle K and the Froster Active Kids program are proud sponsors of the Arena Lacrosse League and Junior All program. You can purchase a Froster at your nearest Circle K store. Thank you, Froster Active Kids. And Blair, as we look at the score, 3-0 in favor of the Shockwave, and maybe they're just feeling a little bit. They haven't had a layoff. They played yesterday and are feeling a little bit of the flow.
Who knows? Maybe they're sitting down. Their legs are going. They, you know what? Right now, I think the difference has been Chase Martin in the net. Right, he's played really well, and he's made a couple of close-in saves. And you know what? Paris just has to slow it down, get in the rhythm before they try to do too much. You know, get things settled down. Let's play our game, and then, you know, once we bang one or something, let's start to get the move then.
I think they'll probably feel better as Eddie Renault when they get their first goal. Drake Smith. Paulus on him. Woodland, quick shot. Chase Martin right where he should be to make the save. And now it's Brooker Muir. Finds Lucas Beaver. Beaver has Cody Ward filling in right side. Beaver zips it across. Kidu Hill will play that off the boards. Has Kofeld on him. Hill's going to have to be slippery. Gets it back. Cody Ward lets it go. Good save, Nolan Clayton. Fresh clock now. Kick back out to Muir. He'll swing it around Ward. Take it to the half boards on the right side. Looking for the flip. Bails out. Curls. Hill will go to the overhand. Easy save by Clayton. And now it's Marcus Elvid. He'll lift one up, put some air under it, and they'll get it in the offensive end. Good job by Jake Kranz as a better save made by Chase Martin, and now the Shockwave will move it up Brooker Muir. Doesn't have numbers, doesn't mean Brooker won't take it. One-on-one, Brooker Muir trying to force his way in, so a good attempt by the man that's never not working. As here come the Riverwolves now as we slide toward the 5-minute mark. Scott coming around, and Justin Scott gets his team on the board with his first of the game, first of the playoffs. And that may be what the Riverwolves need.
Yeah, it might have been a little chink in Martin's armor, but you know what? He literally just put that right through him. 5-hole. I couldn't see it exactly. It looked like it might have turned the stick as it went through. But
definitely had some good velocity on it.
That was a hard shot.
So 3-1 to score as Shockwave now and Oakley Thomas will flip it. Running in a whole lot is Kyron Costello and drawing a slashing penalty, which is what I think the call will be. As Atwood now, Danton Miller. So Danton Miller has brought his game to the playoffs. That's his third of the day, and it's 4-1.
And literally another one of these shots, there's nothing that a goaltender can do. There's nothing a defense can do if they're picking spots that are like in a 3-inch corner. And that's literally, when you got a mesh like that, that ball hits in that corner and stays right there, drops straight down. You know you've picked a corner. And I've been keeping a close eye on Atwood. He's got a little bit of a limp to him. He's not going to the middle the way he was, but don't matter. That guy can feed the ball to anybody.
Keto Hill doing a good job of eluding a couple defenders and kicking it back out. Bombury will send it to Muir. Muir now will wait. Gates Abrams slides in there on the right side at the shooter spot. Looking for the screen and roll. Jamie McMahon on Muir. Muir flips it back up, but it's Connor Watson that comes away with it. Watson doesn't have the numbers. He's going to wait. And I know you're definitely right as I watch Chris Atwood. Certainly not 100%.
No.
But I know he's an important player on this Shockwave team, and it's going to be hard-pressed to get him out of the lineup. That hard shot from Eddie Renault wide of the mark, looking for transition, and how about that grab? Atwood, boom, almost had a beauty pass play. Wasn't able to connect with Carson Rees. And Scott now will race over the timeline, get it to Drake Smith under 3.5 to go. Davis Prince. Smith working that right side. Give and go. Prince inside out. What a save. Missed the net wide on the rebound. So important to be a little lucky as Isaac Vanderzalm working through 2 defenders, 3 defenders. Loses it, regains it. Vanderzalm takes a hard hit, bounces out. Still has it as Woodland works him over. So some good job by Curtis Woodland on the defensive end. And Andy Campbell will stick it, fish it, and move it up to Elvin. Dawson. Scott trying to swing around, nothing doing, has a shot there. Good save made by Chase Martin. And now Oakley Thomas will zip that up. Good hands on that catch. Moving it in, 1-2. What a save by Nolan Clayton. Great transition from the Shockwave, and they're going to end up with 2 minutes in the box for a slash. As Smith's going to hold it out. 2:15 to go here. Delayed penalty coming. And net empty at the other end for the Riverwolves. Quick shot by Woodland. And for the first time in this game, the Riverwolves will go to work with a man advantage.
Well, we've played just about 13 minutes in this game already. And if the Riverwolves don't find a way to get some traffic in front of the net, Clayton's got a perfect view of every shot he's seen so far.
And you know, if the goalie can see it, usually at this level he can stop it. Spear. Scott at the top, and there's a perfect example. Right straight on, and Oakley Thomas, he's got some good speed. This big man can really leg it. He's going to let that go. Nolan Clayton made that save look easy. And now it's picked up, and the Riverwolves will counter. Paris, of course, comes in with a power play working at a 58% efficiency rate, while St. Catharines penalty kill at 61%. And that box is tight As you see Davis Prince unloading, Chase Martin, another good save, and it's going to be Palace. It's going to have to hurry, zips that over the timeline to Keto Hill. Hill, you're going to need more than one guy to keep him from getting to that net. He is slippery. Muir, send that over to Rees. Rees. Under 10 on the shot clock. Muir throws that in the corner. They will retreat. Just want to note that Shockwave, with their outstanding transition man Alex Henry, not in the lineup due to concussion protocol. So he certainly missed as far as the transition game. 40 seconds left in this quarter. Round the horn it goes. 30 seconds left in the power play. Again, everything's from well outside that dotted half circle. And there's a reset with 25 on the game clock. Smith, Prince. Prince is going to step into another. But again, Chase Martin, too tough to beat from way out there.
21 seconds left in that shot clock. There's no way you should be taking that shot.
Lucas Beaver takes a hard hit from Jake Cran, scooped up by Cody Ward. 10 on the game clock. Ward trying to turn the corner. Gets a little clutch and grab. Swim. Goes to the up down. Not able to tuck that in over the shoulder of Clayton. And that's going to do it for the opening 15 minutes. It's been a good one. 15 in the books. 4-1 Shockwave. All set for the second quarter here at Memorial Arena in Brampton, Ontario. Lance Wynn alongside Blair Campbell. Of course, JVI Productions and Rachel Wolf handling all the visuals here as first possession of this quarter goes to the Shockwave. And it's Caleb Wiles. He'll flip it. Chris Atwood now will swing it across to the right side. Keep an eye out. Outstanding quarter for Danton Miller. That shot rushed by Wiles as he didn't need to take that with 15 seconds on the shot clock. And now it's going to go back the other way as the Riverwolves now will gather it, and it's Justin Scott. They'll start it with Eddie Renault on that left side. Renault looking for something. He gets jumped, swinging around to Prince. Prince to Scott. Scott looking for the step, trying to reach his way through. Tiptoes around that white. Leland Palace working him over. Good ball loose on the carpet. And a lot going on. Kyle Dawson jumps in there, but it's a Shockwave to come away with it. That flip out and a race for it. And a good job to get it to Keto Hill. One-on-one. Hill gets wrapped up. Hill slides out of a check. Now Cody Ward will settle it down and get it across. Bombury, swing it back. Hill. And too much on that screen and roll. And Nolan Clayton now will send that up quickly. And Justin Scott will set things up here for the Riverwolves. Van der Zalm, and that's an illegal screen, still moving. And you could have called that or the slash, and you can bet something's going on here as crew chief Roger Nurse had just about enough. Guys seem to be taking a little bit of liberties as far as stretching the rules just a bit.
That all started down behind the net.
So it looks like Seaman Shanahan and Justin Scott will take a couple minutes to collect themselves and think about what they did. Teens will play 5-on-5 as Lucas Beaver now will jump start this offensive set. Atwood to flip back. Rees will swing it over to Bombury. Bombury looking for Beaver. Screen and roll to Miller. Miller, Atwood shot off the post. Collected. Atwood wide open down low. Atwood telegraphed that. Clayton read it and made the save, and here's a quick outlet. And a chance here, 1-2 down, and what a save! Chase Martin. Luke Van Scheppen took the goal away and back the other way. Wiles ducks out of one, and he'll wait here, be a little more deliberate, and kick that over to Ward on the right side. Ward working with Atwood. That pass will go awry. Keto Hill picks it up, 10 on the shot clock. Hill's doing a lap, swings it back. Caleb Wiles does a great job just to catch it. But now it's the Riverwolves, picks it up, and it's Kofeld. Doesn't have any help. One-on-one. Has it now in Cole Spear. Cole Spear! Big save made by Chase Martin. Nobody down at the other end. Keanu Hill. Big save by Nolan Clayton. And we're going end-to-end. Connor Watson corralling that, and I tell you, end-to-end, Mr. Campbell, end-to-end.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've watched Paris go in, and the last few shots have all been trying to go right between his legs. Which is
Oakley Thomas in a foot race. Get some help. Brooker Muir. Back to Oakley Thomas, wrong stick side. Nothing he can do. Muir fished it out, and it's a good goal. I told you, Brooker Muir is never not working, Blair.
Should be doing a Head and Shoulders commercial.
Guy's never not working. I don't know what else to tell you.
But what I was saying with the Riverwolves, I mean, you can't say anything about a goal with a one hand from behind the net. That's thank you very much. It went in the net.
Yeah.
But almost every shot the Riverwolves have taken has tried to go between the legs, and that's the last place I'd be going from what I've seen so far.
I'd have to agree with you as Isaac Vanderzalm drawing a crowd as both Watson trying to somehow take it away. Can't. Beaver, what a fake. Lucas Beaver. My, oh my. Someone needs to put some clothes on. That kid's got some skill.
Right now, everything that the Shockwave touch is turning to gold. And, I mean, the one thing, like I said, that was mentioned to me by the coaching staff for the Riverwolves is we got to have solid D. Haven't seen it there in the last two goals.
Well, and the Shockwave aren't cooperating at all as the battle off the face-off ensues, and Shockwave winning all those loose ball battles and going airborne 1-2. Bombury shot. Good save made by Clayton. And he will send his team back the other way. So it's been end-to-end, but it's been the Shockwave that have been able to finish.
And I think the biggest thing is on offense, the Shockwave are keeping their feet moving. They're not standing still.
They're certainly out hustling the Riverwolves for those loose balls as Chase Martin, again with a good save on the Cole Spear shot, and Oakley Thomas now.
But another shot from 40 feet out.
Danton Miller, good skip pass, gets it back. Miller, he's going to wait for the rest of the offense. Gates Abrams sliding in that right side. Rees trying to make a move, kicks it out. Abrams looking, had a notion. Defender all over him. Now he's got some room. Goes to the sidearm, wide of the mark. Good hands by Wiles as he keeps that from going over the timeline and gives his team a chance. But great pickup by Abrams, but ran out of time, and here comes Curtis Woodland. And Drake Smith had to get that off in a hurry. Defense closed out perfectly on that play, and now it's Brooker Muir. We are inching towards the 10-minute mark here, second quarter. Our second quarter final. We've got 3 of the 4 set. Six Nations in. Beaver tried to shovel that. Whitby in. Oshawa in. Agus leans in. Agus, big save by Martin again. So Hunter Agus doing a little work on offense and not able to find the back of the net. Costello now, he'll weave past the defender. He'll flip, he'll retreat. Rees will give it up, get to his spot. Keanu Hill, good fake. Kofeld on him, slowed him down just enough. Kick back out. Rees looking for an opening. Good swarming D by Jamie McMahon, and the rest, that one's off the post. Sorry, that was Connor Watson. Reset as Atwood collects it, sends it to Wiles. Wiles, I think, just needs to settle down just a bit, Blair, and find his groove.
I think Wiles is one of those where I want to get into this action with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to contribute as he tracks that down, 10 on the shot clock. Zip, what a pass play, and they made that look easy. The recipient, Chris Atwood.
Riverwolves got caught staring at the ball, and two guys were standing at the dotted line and just literally watched Atwood take about 2 steps right by him. And when you're Atwood and you're 3 feet off the crease and you're going to get handed the ball, there's not very often you're going to miss.
Not a whole lot you're going to be able to do if you're Nolan Clayton in that situation.
Nope.
Atwood is enough to handle outside the dotted half circle, let alone in tight. Shockwave, I tell you, they have some momentum after yesterday's big win over Toronto. And they are carrying it over here in this game, too, giving the Riverwolves all they can handle. And you got to remember that these two teams came in. St. Catharines with a 5-7 record. The Riverwolves were 6-6. So a lot of parity in the Arena Lacrosse League this season, as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all but 2 games separated them. And hence here we are here in this second quarterfinal. Kick over. Beaver. I don't even know how Beaver got that off, let alone off the post. And that was the inside of the post. McMahon ahead. Spear. They need it. They got it. Cole Spear.
You can't say enough about when a fast break like that occurs. Not only is it read well from the defensive end, but you got to give the guy credit that was on defense and came to the bench in a hurry like that, because that's what sets it up. And just an absolutely great move. Nice fake, nice put it to the far side.
Hustling, and as casual as that was, that is as obvious to too many men on the floor as you're going to get. And crew chief Roger Nurse being as assertive as you should be as an official. And I'm not quite sure. I mean, Mouser Henry can argue that all he wants, but we watched that here, and you passed that to the empty end of the bench.
I think Roger let him know that on no uncertain terms when he said, the guy's standing right beside me, and he's already on the floor and got the ball. Hang on a second.
That's exactly what he said right there, as the Riverwolves now will get their second power play opportunity. 0 for 1, and they've got a chance here now to at least get back in this game. Scott, bullet. Good save by Martin. Stays right here, fresh clock, round the horn it goes. You've got Scott out there at the top, working with Renault on one side. Prince and Drake Smith on the right side, and inching their way in, trying to gap that box. Get it over. Big shot there by Woodland. Picked up, and it's going to be Vanderzalm to try and won't make the effort, as Clayton will pick it up, and a quick pass up back into the offensive end, and a quick 2-on-1. Scott going to let that go wide of the mark. Prince will corral the rebound. Prince will look. Woodland sniffing something. Prince down low. Drake Smith, 1-2. Drake Smith, where have you been? Here you are now. First of the game, and it's 7-3.
But that's the first time I've seen the Riverwolves take the ball to the crease, but they kept the ball moving from up the top and got the defense going where they shouldn't be going, then dropped the ball on a real nice over shoulder when the crease man on the box was forced to come up. It's going to work all night long if you keep the ball going quick. Oh!
Big Rob King in there bouncing off a few players as it's picked up and moved up. Luke Van Scheppen. Big save by Martin. And he's had a number of those. Cole Spear corrals that loose ball, and fresh clock now. You can see some momentum now shifting to the side of the Riverwolves. Smith and Cole Spear right side. That shut off by the defense. Scott working one-on-one. Scott peeling around his overhands over the net. Ball loose. Eddie Renault does a great job to use his body, pick it up. No reset. Spear goes off a defender, stays in play, and that's going to be a violation. And I believe I think it's a violation. Shot clock just didn't go off. but it was definitely at 0.
Well, the ball definitely went off one of the Shockwave's helmets, too. So,
Well, the question is, but did it touch the screen up top, or did it just touch the top of the glass?
Oh, that definitely touched the screen.
You think it touched the screen?
Definitely. And I could see that without my glasses.
Apparently you have a bionic eye. I don't know anything about it, but what you do in your own time is your business as we take it to the officials' timeout. And, you know, sir, when you come up to the booth, you're not supposed to bring your shovel with you. You're actually supposed to leave that, check it at the door.
I just prefer to bring my golf club and my tee
well,
and let you
do
take
that.
the ball.
I'm going to bring my high rubber boots just in case it gets a little mucky up here.
Oh, now we're going there, are we?
So
okay.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Okay.
It's on, brother. It's on. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So I'm not sure if they're still debating that. So we do have a too many men call on the Riverwolves. And I tell you, so Andy Campbell, I'm not sure Andy Campbell is going to be in the running for the slowest walk to the penalty box that I've seen. And it's going to be another power play for the Shockwave. They're second of this game. They're 0 for 1. So you got Beaver and Bombury on the left side, Cody Ward at the top, Atwood working on that right side with Carson Rees. Atwood, Rees ducks in, off the crossbar. Nifty little try. And an outlet pass just too far for Stovall. Rob Stovall will track it down, get it over to Smith. Drake Smith going to work some clock here with just under a minute and a half. Woodland now will swing it to Scott. They'll spread the floor. And Atwood will remain in the offensive zone. That's a quick underhand, and that'll be a shot clock, and it's Lucas Beaver now. Beaver will peel out. Atwood will set things up. Wild's out. Abrams out. Danton Miller takes over the top spot, and they'll work it around the left side. That could be their most formidable lineup right there, as you've got a whole lot of skill in that 5. Beaver fill in the middle, overhand, Clayton. Beaver almost collected the rebound. Abrams now getting worked over, does a good job to shovel that. Beaver sniffing, gives it back out, and they'll go to Wiles at the top. 35 seconds left. Beaver, Wiles. Beaver, quick shot, good save, Clayton. Ball loose on the carpet. Beaver had it momentarily. Wiles does a good job to slow up Jake Kranz. Kranz runs interference, and now it looks like Connor Watson. Watson, good save by Martin. And Martin with a little extra. You bring it in that crease, you're going to get a little extra. And now it's Atwood. 5 seconds left in the power play. 4:15 to go here in the half. Quick one, good job by Clayton, and net off. Atwood threw it at the net. You got to know that you're not going to stop play for that. Atwood, though, will reset. Net's back where it should be. Looking for a screen from Ward. Atwood dumps that to Hill. Hill with a good fake. Take it back to the top, keep it himself. Interchange with Atwood. Q2 Hill dumps it. Bombury, his underhand just missed. Gets his own rebound. That one blocked. Rebound picked up, and it's Agus. Lofted up. Van Scheppen, and that's going to be a penalty. And what a job. Good save by Martin, but what a job there to keep it alive. And Van Scheppen does his job.
Penalty shot, that's what I thought.
And they're going to call a penalty shot on that. So Van Scheppen should save his tears for another day, say nothing, and try to finish one here with a penalty shot.
You know, something I watch out here quite a bit is, and this is something that the late Les Bartley was so good at, he had his team so disciplined that when that shot clock got down to 5 seconds, all it took was one person to do it. Everybody would pull out on defense, and when it got down to about 1, they just flipped the ball to the corner. That way they got everybody back on defense, and the whole thing set up.
So it looks like it's going to be Justin Scott one-on-one with Chase Martin. Scott with the fake, and it dribbles over the line. So a big goal, Justin Scott's second of the game. More importantly, that's the 4th goal for the Riverwolves, and they've closed the gap now to 3.
But he did make the initial save, and the ball just trickled between his legs over the line. I could see it from here, and kudos to Roger Nurse for being in the right position to make sure he saw that thing go in the net. Or, excuse me, across the line.
I would have said correct on both of those. So for a change, you wouldn't have got an argument out of me. As Rob King now will get possession here and send it over. Kyle Dawson now will set things up. Under 3.5. Drake Smith, good fake. Drake Smith, 1-2. Tried to tuck it far side. Martin all over that. That outlet pass from Brookemere knocked down. And now it's Smith. Has Spear with him, swinging across to Renault. Renault on the run, goes to the bounce. I think that may have caught the iron. And I think it'll stay right here.
Yep.
And that is the case. Dawson and Scott working on that right side. One-on-one, Scott with Oakley Thomas on him. Gets a good screen. Vanderzalm trying to close out, but not enough as Justin Scott, feeling it from that breakaway, picks up his 3rd of the game. And I tell you, the Riverwolves now with a little bit of momentum here have closed the gap to 7-5.
That's one of the first times on one of those outside shots I haven't seen Chase Martin squared up to the shot. And he actually got a good piece of that ball, but because he wasn't square, it went off him and into the net.
So the Shockwave now have allowed 4 unanswered. And hustle there in Stouffville, and not quite sure why that wasn't blown down, but I would have said that was a bit of an interference. Either way, here come the Riverwolves again, working on offense. Davis Prince. Scott, he's been red hot. He's scored their last 2 goals. Van Scheppen trying to go airborne. That's picked up by the Shockwave now, and they'll move it up.
The next couple of possessions for the Riverwolves in this quarter is really important.
We are at the 2-minute mark, and Keto Hill was open. Weren't able to get it from him, and it's Beaver. Beaver right on target. Rebound gobbled up there by Clayton. Clayton with a good outlet pass, backdoor Drake Smith. Doesn't have any assistant as he was outnumbered, and a good job to pull that out and set things up. Prince Smith looking for Dawson. He's taken down by Brooker Muir. Rebound corralled by Renault. That one, good job by Chase Martin to deflect it. Smith, though, has it. And off the post. Here comes Seamus Shanahan, gets it over, and now it's Caleb Wiles. Wiles hits it back up. They'll swing it to Atwood right side. Atwood has some room there. That's his shot. That's his shot right there. That will go over the timeline, and that's a violation with 1:09 to go here in this half. It'll be deep in the offensive end for the Riverwolves. Spear and Prince. Prince never shy to tee it up. Good check from Oakley Thomas. And now here come the Shockwave. They have numbers. Cody Ward, Isaac Vanderzalm jumping out as Bombury. And Ward will put on the brakes. Vanderzalm will retreat. And now it's Kudu Hill with 45 seconds to go in a half. Hill fakes that shot, weaving, dodging, gets it back out wide open. And that's looked like it was in, but no goal on the play. And transition up in a hurry. Van Scheppen gets up off the carpet. Good defense there by Costello as he stayed right with him. 22 seconds to go in a half. Scott now. About a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Scott to Prince. Prince, Hill on him. Looking down low to Van Scheppen. That's knocked away. Loose possession now. And Kudu Hill, you're going to the penalty box for sure with that. As that's a run at a defenseless player. And I'm not sure who that is down. Is that Van Scheppen? It could be.
I think you might be correct. I think Roger Nurse is directing them away from him because I think he wants to discuss whether this is 2 or 5. I really do, because I think he's saying he might have come up and caught him under the chin. Yeah, it was.
Well, that's good to see. He's off on his own power. And
there you go.
Well, that was the bench saying give him 5.
No, that was Muir was just turned to the bench and said he's giving him 5.
Well, we'll see if the information is correct or not. With 6.6 seconds left here in the first half. It's a 7-5 game as the Riverwolves have clawed their way back in it. And important for the official crew to be on the same page, and I think the whole idea is to keep all the players as safe as possible. Contact sport, so it can't eliminate that. And
He's
it looks
gone.
like Kudu Hill is going to get tossed from the game. And I'm not sure. I guess he may have gotten the elbow up on that. But
Well, I think he's probably given him 5 in a game, is from what I can gather. But he's definitely ejected him from the game, so he might have called it a head hit.
well, that may have been the case. I can't see it for anything else but that, and that's a big blow for the Shockwave as Kudu Hill, one of their skilled players for sure. Roger Nurse, of course, one of our skilled referees here, and just so that the viewers understand the process, there is a disciplinary committee, and every game and every instance, every penalty over 2 minutes is reviewed by the committee and assessed, and that's the way it's done. Similar to the scoring. Some people complain about the scoring, but we have a crew of 3 that will go over every game and make sure that the assists are right and the goals are credited right. Final 2 seconds, need a shot. Scott, that rocket just caught the shoulder of Chase Martin, and 30 minutes in the books, and an impact player out of this one. But we played a half here. Quarterfinals, a spot. Final spot in the Final Four on the line. 7-5, Shockwave. All set to go here for third quarter action, and what a finish to quarter number 2 as the Shockwave are going to be faced with some adversity here with Kudu Hill out of the lineup and out of this game. The question, Blair, was a bit of a judgment call on the part of the officials, crew chief Roger Nurse, and again, maybe you can tell our viewers what the discussion was and their rationale.
Well, basically what they did was, and you know, I got to give them credit for doing this. You know, I had this view, you had this view, you had this view. They got together, they decided that it was 5 to start with, and they all felt that the guy was in a potentially dangerous situation, and the hit was totally unnecessary. So, you know what? You can't change what's called.
No, and from our vantage point, the hit looked a little late and certainly unnecessary. Didn't look overly dirty, but again, when you're in that helpless position, it looks a little
And that's the key right there. That's the big key.
So over 4.5 now in this power play for the Riverwolves as they carry it over into this third quarter. Davis Prince looking for Drake Smith. Two-man game down low. Kyle Dawson got one, but from a bad angle, loose, still on the floor. Leland Palace doesn't get much craftier than that as Palace gave him a check while he was on his knees and took the ball, and Smith now will send it over. They'll work it to Woodland on the left side. Scott at the top. He's got 3 of the team's 5 goals. Smith back out. They'll work it around. And there you go. So Justin Scott, Shockwave with no answer for that. That is a power play marker for the Riverwolves.
We said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's no way to stop a well-placed shot, and that was another well-placed shot into our top right-hand corner, his top left.
Just in case you missed it, as Cody Ward wins the draw cleanly. So the 5-minute major is still on the board. Still just under 4 minutes left in the man short. Ron Mouser Henry, head coach of the Shockwave, has been ejected. So the Shockwave will be without Kedu Hill and their head coach, Mouser Henry. Connor Watson has it stripped. Scott picks it up, and he'll hold on to it. We've got a 1-goal game here, 7-6. Riverwolves looking for the equalizer here with the man advantage. They are 2 for 3 on the power play. Scott zips one over, looking for Dawson, kicks it back out Woodland. Woodland sniffing the top corner, picked up Oakley Thomas. He's going to get ahead of steam going, get over the timeline. He's got an opening. Thomas lets it go. Wide of the mark, that'll go into the gondola. And it'll be possession the other way. 3:10 left in the 5-minute major. As the Riverwolves will be very deliberate. Same unit out there as Woodland and Dawson on that left side. Scott at the top. They're working Drake Smith and Cole Spear on that right side. Scott again right on. Chase Martin, a good play there. And now legging it out is Costello. Jumping in the rush is Rees. Costello takes the shot wide of the mark. Lucas Beaver does a good job to track it down, and you got to figure these Shockwave need a little momentum. Beaver will flip it back out, and Costello not able to keep it on the offensive end. Over and back the call. Drake Smith will get it to Scott. Under 2.5 to go in the man short in the power play for the Riverwolves. Spear now. Send it in. Everything's been on the outside here in this power play. Box compacted right inside the dotted half circle. Spear. That overhand. Good partial save, but then went off the post. Fresh clock here. 2 minutes left in the major. Renault. Scott. He's going to tee it up right on the money, but a good save by Chase Martin. And now it's Brooker Muir. Muir looking to kill some time. Muir out there. Bombury jumps in, as does Atwood. Brooker Muir will send it over to Gates Abrams. Abrams now. 15 on the shot clock. Abrams has Rob King on him. Zips that over. Gets it back. Abrams, the underhand. Right in the 5-hole, but Nolan Clayton closed that up nicely.
One of these times in this power play, Scott has taken that shot and used it. One of these times, the crease man on the opposite side has got to step off that crease because he's got the goalie coming right out to him, and he's got the whole net if he can get him out there.
Davis Prince Scott slid over to the left shooter spot. Drake Smith picked it up, but he has it taken away from him. Oakley Thomas in there, uses the big body, gets it out, backhand up to Vanderzal. Under a minute to go in the man short. Here comes Atwood. Atwood try to feed him. Danton Miller trailing on the play. Atwood picks it up. Good shot on target. Gets the reset, gets his rebound, and gets it out to Danton Miller. Good job by 77 favoring that knee that he hurt in yesterday's game as he'll slide back out and send it back down. They'll move it around to the left side. Caleb Wiles, one-on-one. He is a handful. He's got moves. Getting chopped. had to hurry to get a shot off, and ball loose. Jake Kranz playing interference, and Connor Watson right there to scoop it up. 10:20 to go here, 10 seconds left in the 5-minute major. And you got to figure, Blair, if the Shockwave can get out of here without giving up a goal on this power play, it'd be huge. They do. Penalty over, and right out of the box in a hurry. Smith has it. Curl around. 10 on the shot clock. Clutch and grab. Smith gets tossed around, and now it's Brooker Muir. Cody Ward jumping in the rush, but good transition defense by the Riverwolves. Abrams chasing it down. Jamie McMahon on him. Does a good job to play the stick. Abrams weaves his way out. Gates Abrams! Nothing you can do when the big man posts up. That's his first of the game.
And that's that situation we talked about where the eye's in your head and the eye's in the end of your stick. He had so much reach beyond the goaltender and just put it over his left shoulder. But that was a big kill for the last 3 minutes or 4 minutes of that power play. And to pick up that goal afterwards is huge for them.
That may be the pivotal point here in this game. 9.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. 8-6 the score. And coming away with that is DeWitt Martin. Martin gets it to Atwood. Atwood, the good hands, grabs it. Kranz all over him. And it's Bombury. Wilds lets it go. Right on target. Easy save for Clayton. With all kinds of room, but thinking better of it and doing a good job was Rob Stovall. Scott on the run, not right on target, but Chase Martin has found his mojo. And now the Shockwave will bring it up. Lucas Beaver. Beaver, he'll peel out of trouble there. Weave his way in, got Johnson on him, gets a screen, tries to shoot through it. Clayton now will loft one up to Agus, but it's picked off by Beaver. Agus on him. Beaver slips that defender now, and he will get it back to Muir. Ward looking in the middle, and it goes off a couple of sticks right to Beaver. Beaver with a step. Beaver! Good save by Clayton. And he went through the crease. Possession now to Paris. They'll move it up the other way. Just over 8 minutes left here, third quarter. Lance Wynn, Blair Campbell, glad to have you with us as we have enjoyed some outstanding quarterfinal lacrosse here in the Arena Lacrosse League playoffs. Earlier today, it was the Oshawa Outlaws punching their ticket into the Final Four, and Oakley Thomas has Seaman Shanahan with him. Thomas weaving in and out. Marcus Alvin, good job to close that off as he chases the big man out into the neutral zone. Got the backhander off, and Bombury didn't see Alvin. Muir will pick it up. Get away from Jake Kranz, and Kranz, you can't cut trees down like that here in the Arena Lacrosse League, and Jake Kranz will go to the penalty box, and that should take us to our officials' timeout. Alterna Savings and y'all are excited to promote the second annual National Lacrosse League Alterna Cup competition this season. Canadian teams are competing in head-to-head matchups to capture the cup and be crowned the top Canadian team in the NLL. Check out NLL.com and Alterna.ca for the up-to-date standings and schedule. Circle K and the Froster Active Kids program are proud sponsors of the Arena Lacrosse League and Junior All program. You can purchase a Froster at your nearest Circle K store. Thank you, Froster Active Kids. So the Shockwave will go on their first power play of the second half, third of the game. They're 0 for 2.
It's going to be interesting to watch Atwood over the next few offensive sets, because not only was he favoring his knee or his ankle, whichever it was. But the last shift he come off basically with his right arm hanging beside his side. So it looked like he got clipped in the elbow or something, but we'll see what happens over the next few shifts.
See here, as he's out there on the power play in that right shooter spot, that's his office. Cody Ward at the top, he'll interchange. Danton Miller has been quiet, but he has been good in this game. That pass trying to feed Ward, design play, and Van Scheppen will move it up on a good pass. Changes now, defense out there. Vanderzalm races up, and how about that? So Rob Stovall.
Wow.
Figuring in the mix with his first of the game, and it's 8-7, and sometimes it's those X factors. It's the guys you least expect that change the course of the game.
And the offensive player or the defensive player that was ahead of him that was standing on the crease was giving him one dirty look when he looked him off. It's a good thing he put it in the net, or they might have had a little bit of word.
Well,
but
if you're
that's
not
a
gonna
big
pass it, you better score.
That's a big shorthanded goal for them to bring it back to a one-goal game.
So Shockwave surrender a shorty with 1:25 to go in the power play, and Agus does a good job. Van Scheppen dekes his way out, gets it over the timeline. Vanderzalm working him over, and now Justin Scott will slow it down, be a little more deliberate. Under 6.5 to go here in the third. Renault, one-on-one. Renault taking Leland Palace to the house. His shot wide of the mark, no reset. Cole Spear, he'll let it go right on target. Good save made by Chase Martin. And now the Shockwave with 50 seconds left in the man advantage. Bombury. Wilds, like to see Caleb Wilds settle in just a bit here as he's out there with Abrams, and 77 Atwood will float out there. Beaver. Wilds going to have to hustle, and he gets knocked down by Watson. Beaver does a good job to keep it over the timeline. Shot clock violation. And now it's Stovall. And they're going to stop the ball this time for sure, as they're not going to let Stovall get another head of steam going, and it's Scott. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Scott with Brooker Muir on him. And the penalty over now. And it's one-on-one. Shot clock winding down. That shot will go up and wide of the mark. That'll be violation. Possession to the Shockwave. And not sure what happened there, why they didn't stop the play.
The back referee called for a reset as soon as the shot went by.
There you go, Brooker Muir trying to thread his way through two defenders. Smith and Scott all over Brooker Muir, and it's scooped up by Rees. Rees, big save by Clayton. Muir will get it, dumps it off Danton Miller. 2-on-1, Danton Miller sized up that top corner, but another good save by Nolan Clayton. And out and over the timeline is Agus. Has Rees following him. Elvin does a good job to run under it. We're under 4.5 to go here, third quarter. Woodland will swing it over to Spear on the right side. Shot wide of the mark. Dawson almost had it. So did Renault. Instead, it goes up to Atwood. Atwood doesn't have the Jets as Woodland takes it away. And Spear now will take a good hard cross check. And that Oakley Thomas, I tell you, he's all over the place. And Scott now doesn't have the numbers. He's going to wait. Prince trying to bull his way in, goes to the backhand. That's well wide of the mark. Vanderzalm now will turn it around the other way. Has got Cody Ward with him. Vanderzalm, Ward, another good save made by Nolan Clayton. Ward scoops up that loose ball, reset. 3.5 to go here in the third. Atwood will swing it around, and it's Bombury. Quick shot, steered aside by Clayton. Rebound Abrams. Atwood. Zip that good skip pass across. Bombury inside to Abrams. Took a hit right at the release time and jarred him just a bit. Back comes Connor Watson. The flip. Scott weaving around. That goes off the post and will stay right here. Fresh clock for the Riverwolves with just under 3 minutes to go. Smith, Dawson, Scott one-on-one on that left side. Spin move. Good help defense, but Scott gets loose and a big save by Chase Martin. Shockwave the other way. They've got numbers. Muir ducks in. Muir off the post. Van Scheppen out to Smith. Woodland jumping in the rush. Costello does a good job to cover him. And Prince now will work on that right side. Renault ducks in by 1-2. Right on target, but Chase Martin right where he should be. And now the Shockwave will counter. Danton Miller zips that across to Ward. Ward has Paulus with him. Kicks it back out to Atwood. Lucas Beaver will jump in the rush late. And Miller. 10 on the shot clock. Danton Miller goes to the wrong hand. Good job there, but Clayton had the angle all covered, and it's Jamie McMahon. Minute 45 left. Stovall. Wow! Rob Stovall bringing it and burying it. We're tied at 8.
Where did that come from? Holy smokes. He had about 2 hops and a full windup and let it go and absolutely ripped it into the top corner. But smart move for McMahon to drop it back and allow him to get to the crease, which gives the goaltender 2 people to worry about, the shot and the crease man.
Tied for the first time here in this game as the Shockwave have led from the opening quarter. The Riverwolves have battled their way back like they have done all season. And we are tied at 8 with 1:20 left in the third. Prince trying to duck his way in, swinging around to Woodland on the right. Woodland, he tries to duck his way in, gets a quick shot off, but Martin makes a good save there. And now they're going to have to work it up and move it up, and it's Vanderzalm. We're in the final minute here. Wiles. Shockwave needs something from Caleb Wiles. Atwood. Delayed penalty coming to the Riverwolves. Under 10 on the shot clock. Gonna have to hurry. That underhand goes off at Johnson. It's loose. And with 36.5 seconds left, the Shockwave are gonna go on their 4th power play of this game. They're 0 for 3 and they've given up a shorty. So Johnson, the guilty party, he'll spend 2 minutes or less in the penalty box. And Ward now with 35 seconds left in the quarter. Atwood, Rees out there on the right side, Miller and Beaver on the left. Danton Miller, been quiet since the first couple goals of the game. Atwood with a tricky shot trying to get Clayton leaning. And Clayton now will zip that to Watson. Good hands to get that pass, and Connor Watson's going to work some clock, 10 on the game clock, get it back to Justin Scott. They're going to try to burn the last 5 seconds here. On the release, Drake Smith almost had that, and that is going to do it for the third quarter. So fasten your seatbelts as we've played 3. We're tied at 8. We'll be back with the 4th. Locked and loaded for the 4th quarter, and it should be a good one here. 1:24 left in the Paris penalty.
You know, Lance, if you told the Riverwolves coach at the halfway through the first quarter that they would be tied 8-8 at the end of third, he'd have taken that in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat, as off the draw, Brooker Muir, Connor Watson working him over. And Muir now will find Chris Atwood, and Atwood now. So money time right here and now. Guys that are going to have to step up, the likes of Caleb Wiles, Chris Atwood, Danton Miller's done a good job here in this game. If you're Paris, you're going to need a little something from, oh, what a save! Nolan Clayton, robbery.
Even Atwood is sitting there looking skyward.
Well, Atwood called 911 to arrest that guy because he was robbed. And man, oh man, he couldn't believe his eyes either.
No.
30 seconds left, and Scott got a shot off Vanderzom. Now will counter. We'll see if the Shockwave can capitalize here. If you're Paris, you're looking for something.
Well, if Paris wins this game, they better look to that save right there.
Atwood now working out there with Ward. Gates Abrams on that right side. Atwood now at the top. Lucas Beaver was sniffing the rebound, and that outlet pass goes right to Watson. Penalty over now. Good kill. That pass trying to zip it to Drake Smith. Instead, it's intercepted. And now it's Bombury. Zips a skip pass. Ward lets it go. And Cody Ward was outstanding yesterday in their win over Toronto with 4 goals. And Watson now has it, but he's got a defender in Andy Jamison all over him. Does a good job to get that ball over, and Riverwolves now setting things up on offense. Scott, spear, slides out late on that right side. Gives it off. Coming around is Woodland. So something from Woodland, something from Renault. If you're Paris, and numbers here. Shockwave. Miller! Big save again by Clayton. And I'm not sure.
Back referee called a penalty from the other end of the floor, and I'm not sure what he called here.
So it looks like
he tapped his shoulder. I'm not sure what that call is. I'm really not.
Well, either way, 2 on the board, and Kofeld's headed there, and the Shockwave now with another power play opportunity. Danton Miller changes the angle, can't get it through. Good scoop up by Bombury around the horn. Beaver tried that, and it's intercepted, but they get it back. Backhand now looking for Atwood. Atwood scoop and go. He'll come around. Danton Miller at the top. Atwood zips it across. Playing the Karam was Bombury. Tried a quick shot. Rebound. Beaver! Lucas Beaver cruising around that crease. Scooped up that loose ball and put it in the back of the net.
And that's the first time in a lot of shots that the Riverwolves have not been able to control that rebound. And unfortunately, there was a guy by the name of Beaver that was standing right there, and he's one of those 3 guys you don't want to leave on that crease with a loose ball.
And his last name is not Cleaver, I'll tell you that. This kid can play some lacrosse, as it's a 9-8 game now for the Shockwave. And off the draw, Cody Ward has been outstanding in that circle. He'll get it to Oakley Thomas and then take it back. 12 minutes to go here in the 4th. Someone's going home. Someone else is going to the ILA for the Final Four next weekend. Beaver, bounce shot. Clayton, good save there. Picked up again. So Lucas Beaver is making another house call as he continues to clean things up on the doorstep. His 2nd goal in a row. It's 10-8.
Wow. Van Scheppen, Agus, and Clayton are all guilty on this goal of standing there and watching while the ball sat there in the crease, and Beaver was able to pick it up. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. You got to do it.
You know, Blair, if you're wearing a jersey, you shouldn't be spectating because you're playing. And I think a couple guys got caught. Now, mind you, Lucas Beaver is very elusive. He never stops moving. And that's part of his skill set, is he is always in perpetual motion. Ward now. He's going to go to the bounce. Clayton, a good save there. Ward's going to pick it up. Momentum now seems to have swung to the side of the Shockwave. Bombury. Atwood. Oh, if Atwood gets going, you know it's going to be trouble for the Riverwolves. That shot over the net, that's going to be a violation. And possession deep in the Shockwave end, it'll be Drake Smith. So a little something from Drake Smith, certainly a good time if you're the Riverwolves. Renault looking for that dump off, looking for an opening. Shanahan on him, kick it back out to Smith. Plenty of time. Cole Spear. Cole Spear! That was a beautiful BB in the far corner.
That's one they needed. They needed to get somebody else other than named Scott involved in this offense. And that was a seeing eye shot right over the top shoulder. Let's just say it was a needed goal. There's no question about that. They had to get it back now. 11 minutes to go, down one. You got a coin?
We ain't flipping it. Cole Spear's second of the game comes at a very opportune time, and now Jake Kranz. Kranz has Van der Zalm on him. He'll peel out. They'll get it back to Stovall, who has had two big transition goals in this game to bring his team back. And the Shockwave have regained that one goal advantage. Scott trying to turn the corner. Van der Zalm working him over, and Scott did everything in his power to get that shot off. Great individual effort. And now over the timeline is DeWitt Martin. Martin falls to the carpet but gets it to Wiles. Wiles. Dump it off, and he's got Beaver. Lucas Beaver trying to shed Agus. That shot from Ward wide of the mark. Beaver has it. Right on, almost on target. Rebound. Ward got a shot off. Another good save by Clayton. And we are just under the 10-minute mark here in the fourth. Elvin. He'll get it over the timeline to Woodland. He'll stay out there on offense. Woodland with a good move. Curtis Woodland ducks by one. He'll peel out. He's got Eddie Renault. Renault wrong stick side. Renault going to try to get in. Tries to reach over off the post. And Scott now will get it with a fresh 30 to work with. 9.5. Davis Prince sizing it up. Prince, he'll kick it back to Scott. Scott now well outside the dots, works his way in, gets a step. Justin Scott, 1-2, undressing Chase Martin. Justin Scott with his fifth of the game.
And right now, when you see a guy with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter be able to walk down the middle like that, somebody's not making a switch and somebody's not sliding on defense to help out. And you got to have that right now. It is huge on the defensive end for both teams. But what a great move by Scott and a great Barry when he got to the crease.
Well, Scott has been a real thorn in the Shockwave side. 5 goals in this game. And we're tied at 10 with 9:15 to go. So both these two teams itching to get to the Final Four as that scrum continues in the circle with Beaver, Rob King, and King had it momentarily, but coming out of that, and I tell you to get on, and it's Lucas Beaver. Beaver at the crossbar. They called crease on that, but I tell you, that Lucas Beaver, man, he's crafty. I'd put him in the same category with 66 for the Snipers in Vern Swiper Hill.
And he just jumped straight up in the hill and in the sky and one-handed that.
Prince tees it up, gets his own rebound. Oakley Thomas was bailing out. I'll tell you what a save there made by DeWitt Martin. And Brooker Muir now as things are heating up, tied at 10. Muir, he'll peel out. Bombury jumped in the rush, he'll wait. And Muir now will fake the flip to Rees and give it off to Danton Miller. Miller. Bombury, pass, looking for Atwood. Good job to corral that by Rees. Tried to swim his way out of it, but big man. Kofeld said put the body on him, and now it's Scott. And they have had no answer for Justin Scott here in this game, and probably better you both stay on him as Spear now will collect that rebound, 10 on the shot clock. Renault. Smith makes a move. Smith tried to tuck it, but Chase Martin closed the wickets. And now the outlet pass to Rees. Rees will gather it, and he'll move it up into the offensive end. Miller. He'll fake that flip. Has Jamie McMahon on him. Might want to exploit this matchup. Gets the screen. Dan Miller looking for that far side. Couldn't do it. Rees bails him out. 10 on the shot clock. Miller changes the angle. Jamie McMahon, another great save. That will go up and out of play. And good call there, as that should take us to our final officials timeout.
Italy beat USA 13-4 for the bronze medal in the men's curling. 13-4.
That's like losing by 30 in basketball.
You think?
That's a blowout. That's a curling blowout.
You got that right. It's going to be an interesting game tonight, though, because Sweden's going for their fourth in a row, and they're going against Goucher, so it's going to be an interesting game.
Too young to watch curling.
Yeah, okay.
It's a fun game.
In whose world
Hey,
is
it's a
that?
fun game.
In whose world? I'll tell you what, you play 10 ends at that pace, having a sweep. 3 games in a day.
Grams, get your headset on, all right? Well, that's the social we're talking. Set to go after our officials timeout. 7:04 left, tied at 10 here. Quarterfinal action, Arena Lacrosse League playoffs. This will fill that final 4 spot in the final 4 headed slated for next week at the ILA. Gates Abrams tried a quick stick Beaver. Backhand pass to Abrams on the doorstep, couldn't connect. And Beaver now with some pressure, but Scott doing a little everything, gets it up. McMahon, Scott, Chase Martin, great save. Atwood picks it up, moves it up to Brooker Muir. Muir puts on the brakes, runs into Jake Kranz. He'll trying to get out of there, and he does as Kranz working him over, zips that across, settle things down with Ward. Atwood now. Riverwolves extending their D10 on the shot clock. That BB is just steered aside by Nolan Clayton. And I tell you, everything Atwood lets go is hard. Atwood in his office, sizing it up. Miller, Dan Miller! Oh,
he
my!
got hit.
He has delivered one more time. That's his 4th of the game, and it's 11-10 for the Shockwave.
And he let that shot go and ran into a brick wall named Stovall. And he went down pretty good. But you know what? That's what you got to do when you're in a close game like this. You got to take the ball to those tight spaces and make that shot once you get the ball.
Well, you know there's going to be contact. You know, Blair, anytime you go up the middle, I don't care what area you're talking about in this sport, you go in that middle, you're gonna feel it.
To be quite honest with you, I don't care what sport you're talking about.
Fair enough. Vanderzalm trapped in that corner. He's running around, and he'll just roll it out to Thomas, and Thomas swing it over to Wilds. 5:45 to go. Shockwave clinging to a 1-goal lead. Atwood, wrong stick side. That goes off Elvin. And then Elvin gives Atwood a hack, and Elvin's going to go. Because I don't know why he would have did that. That was just a bit of a brain cramp there.
I'm sorry, I watched the ball. I didn't see what transpired.
He just needlessly gave Chris Atwood a two-handed whack after Atwood let the shot go. And he will spend 2 valuable minutes in the box. And the Shockwave now with another power play.
That is what coaches talk about discipline, right there. You can't do that. An 11-10 game with 5.5 to go in it? No.
Wilds, Thomas, Atwood, Abrams, and Beaver. Atwood! I don't even know how he even saw that from an angle, Blair, because that's almost behind the net. That's a beauty, quick stick finish. Well done, power play marker, and discipline, Blair, discipline.
Right now, the thank you should go to Oakley because he sold that with that big wind-up on the shot, and Atwood knew enough to take a step out so that he was clear of the defender, and he had the whole net.
Little things lead to the big things. 5:20 to go here. 2-goal advantage for the Shockwave as they have swiped the momentum right back from the Riverwolves, who pulled even to start this fourth quarter. It's 10-10 game, a 2-0 run now, and Wilds zips it over. Rees looking for Ward, and it's knocked down. Numbers now for Paris. Prince jumps in the rush. That's a bad pass, and good job to track it down by Rees, and a better job to haul it in by Ryan Johnson. So Johnson with the good hands. He'll send it. Wilds now will walk it up. 4.5 to go. Atwood. Wilds will get on his stick side and do a little interchange with Abrams. Overload on the right. Wilds has some room. Looking down. And there's Atwood one more time. That play to perfection. Beauty pass. Wilds to Atwood. 3 straight. And it's 13-10.
And Atwood's foot was on the goal line. It was on that extended dotted line, his left foot, when he got that ball. But I think that's the first point that Wilds has got in this game, if I'm not mistaken, and it's something they want to go somewhere. He's got to get himself involved.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to be the scorer, sometimes the facilitator. And in that case, when you know Atwood is feeling it, you try to get him that ball. So 4:10 to go, and the Riverwolves have kind of gotten to a lull here. They've been outscored 3-0 in this quarter. And I don't even know what occurred there as Jake Kranz, no penalty called. And now it's Bombury. What a save by Clayton. That's a big save right there. As Bombury now dodging and weaving through traffic, gets it to Beaver. Swinging around. And it'll be Atwood. Atwood has been the money man here for the Shockwave. Beaver! Wow! Blair, wow! Put that one in the textbook and chalk it up 14-10.
And that was just a perfect little lob pass. It was almost like a basketball alley-oop because he just laid that up and over everybody, and Beaver just walked right into it.
And it looks like there may be a bench penalty called, and that is the case as the Shockwave have, to coin a phrase, shocked these Riverwolves here in this fourth quarter.
Well, I think this power play might be the one that does it in this situation. And again, discipline, discipline, discipline.
Well, the Shockwave 2 for 2 this quarter with the man advantage. So they have capitalized on their opportunities here in this final 15. 3:36 to go. Shockwave looking to punch their ticket to the Final Four. They could complete the foursome. Woodland running into the double team. Gets it over, but it's picked off. And a good job there to bounce out of that is DeWitt Martin, and time on the side of the Shockwave. The Shockwave, if they win, they would take on the Six Nations Snipers next weekend. It would be the Oshawa Outlaws and the Whitby Steelhawks. If things hold up, that shot's going to go over the timeline, and Scott now is going to pick it up and try to go to work. Running out of time. Riverwolves. Scott, saved by Martin. Martin will leave it. Brooker Muir now. Muir will have to turn on the Jets. Get it over the timeline. Brooker Muir. Leland Palace, they'll pull it out even though they have a minute left in the power play. Again, they don't need to score, Blair.
No.
They need to work that clock.
Right now, I'd just be working a ball around the outside and taking a shot with about 3 seconds to go on that shot clock.
That might be the case as Palace now is at the top. Atwood's going to take that, and Atwood's going to bury it, and that may be the dagger. That's Atwood's 4th of the game. And if you look at the goal scorers, Danton Miller with 4, Beaver with 4, Atwood with 4, and the clutch guys have delivered in crunch time.
I noticed after the last 3 goals that Atwood's got, he's been back to waving his finger in the faces.
But that's his thing.
Which is fine. That's his
his
thing. I understand. And you know what? It may be taking the Riverwolves out of their thought process.
Well, it may be the case because with under just over 2 minutes to go, Riverwolves have run out of steam. Chase Martin has closed shop, and he's going to zip that one away. Oakley Thomas. It'll go netminder to netminder, and good composure by Renault as Clayton's going to come out of his net with 1:45 to go, down 5. Smith creeping in on that right crease. Davis Prince is going to unleash that one right in the belly of Chase Martin. And Martin now is just going to get it down as all they have to do is hurry. DeWitt Martin does the right thing. Atwood scoops it up, and he's going to roll out as looks like a timeout is going to be called on the play. Looks like the Shockwave have called a timeout.
Well, if this is a timeout and it's called by the Shockwave, this is one of those where it's, guys, we got a 5-goal lead. Keep the ball to the outside. Take our 30 seconds. If we get the ball back, we get it back. We don't want anybody coming out of here hurt.
No injuries, no suspensions. You want this full team ready to go for next week in the Final Four. That's what you're looking at. Now, if you're on the Paris side, what are you looking to do? You're running low on time with 1:26 left. You're down 5.
You got to force the ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to get 2 guys on that ball all the time and take your chance that your goaltender's going to make a save or somebody's going to make an interception, and you're going to go from there.
So you heard it from our resident expert, as we will see here who is willing to execute. If you're the Shockwave, you're in pretty good spot right now.
And I'll be honest with you, if I'm the Shockwave, I'm keeping Atwood off the floor right now. He's been sore and limping the whole game. I'm not even putting him on there.
And a good call, Coach, because he's not on there right now, and he should probably sit for the remainder, as the Shockwave have put together an outstanding game against the Toronto Monarchs yesterday. They bounced back with an equally impressive performance here today as Oakley Thomas goes to the over-the-shoulder to pretty much put the dagger in things. And I'll tell you, they missed some of these guys they didn't have yesterday. And Oakley Thomas, Keto Hill was also – no, Keto Hill was here, sorry. Anthony Patterson not in the lineup yesterday as well.
This goal is a product of exactly where we sit in the game, where you're up 5. The offense is smart enough to stay wide. It's spreading the defense out because they have to stay on them. And what happens? It opens up the middle.
So you can see the defensive unit out there for the Shockwave as they're just going to spread the floor, and we're under a minute to go. You see Thomas, Muir, Paulus, Vanderzalm, and Costello. And you can bet they don't even need to shoot it. They can just roll that in the corner and leave it at that. And that's exactly what Vanderzalm does. And 35 seconds to go here in the Riverwolves 2022 season. The Shockwave will advance. Riverwolves and Jamie Dubrick, Chris Driscoll. Another outstanding season. We know a lot of adversity as always, having to work with changing rosters, guys not there, not a full lineup. But for your expertise and what you bring to the Arena Lacrosse League, we thank you for that. We thank you for this season, and we look forward to seeing you next season as the Shockwave. They will move on, 16-10 the final. They will be the fourth team in the Final Four next week at the ILA. That is going to do it for us here at Memorial Arena in Brampton, Ontario. An outstanding day of quarterfinal action. Final Four next weekend, Easter weekend. The All Cup will be ready to go on Sunday's championship day. On behalf of my partner, Blair Campbell, JVI Productions, League President Paul St. John, I'm Lance Wynn. We will see you at the Final Four on the reservation next week.